Hello. I feel like I'm making a YouTube video. I'm not, but it feels like that. Um, I want you to imagine that this podcast video is kind of like a YouTube video from back in the day. Um, not many edits, short and sweet, and listen to and not take too seriously. Now, I have been wanting to talk about this because I couldn't find enough info back in the day when I was struggling to figure out what I wanted to do in my career path. I only really liked languages, history, and legal studies. So those were the three that I really enjoyed. I didn't pursue languages. I was interested in Indonesian, and that's what my school offered. However, I was like, am I going to really use it? Probably not. Then I had history, which is my favorite one. History was great. I just couldn't envision what I would do with that degree. So I thought maybe teaching, but then I was like, do I want to be a teacher? And at the time, I wasn't really good with kids. So I was like, probably not. And so then I was stuck with legal studies. So I did a gap year, and thank God I did a gap year because I think, you really go out, graduated running a million miles an hour after having done year 12 VCE. It's so heavy. It's exhausting. And all the teachers there tell you what you need to do to succeed. And it's study every day and not have a life and choose a career for the rest of your life. I wish people were really a bit more obvious about the options that you have. It just feels like they genuinely lie to you. Like my career counselor, she wasn't a very nice lady. She was like, if you don't work hard, you'll be nothing. And I was like, right. I don't think you should be saying that to a student, but like, okay. Um, so I worked my butt off and like I got a good ATAR, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And honestly, year 12 was a blur because all I did was study. It was tragic. Anyway, I did a gap year and I just worked full time in, luckily, a law firm. So I got to experience what it was like. So I decided to study law a year later, which I was really grateful for because I don't know what people's obsession is with like getting things done in a certain time frame. Um, Besides it being a hassle, like I get it if it's like, you need to get things finished and you want to work full time and you need that money, I get it. But like in terms of when people get weird about like, you've got to start uni early and you've got to finish it early and you've got to start your career. I'm like, your career will start whenever you need to start it. And people change career paths all the time. I just don't understand this like logic. Anyway, so I started a law degree, straight law, at a university in Victoria. Would I recommend studying law if you're not sure? The answer is it depends, which is the worst answer, and that's such a law student, law graduate, legal professional answer, but it is. It depends. However, I'm just going to run you through some things that I considered and what I thought about when I was doing my law degree and how I feel about my law degree now in my late 20s. So, law school is really, really hard. And I know people say that all the time, but honestly, unless you have all the time in the world and you're not working and you love to read textbooks all the time and you love to do work, it's not fun. It's very, very tough. The exams are really tough. They're not for the faint of heart. I literally never got offered a late extension. It was put it in by the deadline or get a zero. And so when I heard some of my friends be like, oh, I got a late extension, I'm like, lucky motherfuckers. Lucky. Because for my uni anyway, they didn't offer that. The reason is they don't want to give you an extension on deadlines because in reality, when you are a lawyer, they don't offer those sort of leeways and leniency when it comes to work. They don't. You get the job done in the time frame. By midway through first year, about 40 to 50% of the law students that started had dropped out. It's just not a degree that I would choose if you're unsure. You really need to be sure about this. It's not a degree for someone that is like, oh, I'm going to earn a lot of money as a lawyer. Choose a different pathway. I'm sorry. Law is not low effort, high reward. It's high effort, sometimes high reward, depending on how much you work at the fucking pits. And at the end of the day, if you're working, let's say, 16-hour days and you're getting paid a high salary, if you break it down by hour, it's actually not that much because you're working and you don't have a personal life, no work-life balance, and you get shat on by your clients and by your higher ups. It's not something you should do if you think money is the end goal of it, because it's just not the case. If you start it, you're immediately going to have a debt on you're going to have a HECS debt. And yes, it's not that big of a deal. Like HECS debt, you don't pay back immediately, but it's money that you still owe. And it's money that you will be paying back, depending on the threshold you hit. So don't choose it if you're umming and ahhing. Really, really think about it. Really think about it. I would also say, bar a few people that I went to uni with, the rest were really, really competitive. I didn't make many friends at uni. Everyone was kind of out to get the best in the class. And I don't know, it was too serious. Like, it was just, I mean, I liked it when there was certain subjects, but like overall it was very competitive. There's barely any group projects because it's very much individuals doing assessments, trying to get to the top of the class. I will say that they force you to do a lot of public speaking. You have to do moots, which is like fake court hearings, and proceedings, and you have to do speeches and you have to argue in front of a class, and it's very much debating. It's very much, how do you argue something, right? So that all sounds fun, but if you really like arguing, I honestly would go into like politics or something. I mean, obviously decide what you want to do with this. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Okay. So those are the kind of like the negatives. It's money, especially in Australia. Once you finish your degree, then you do your postgraduate diploma of legal practice. This is just Australia. So that's an extra like 15K on top, maybe probably more actually, because the last time I did it was 2021. So it'd be much more than that. And then on top of that, you have to pay a substantial amount of money to the legal board, different in every state, territory, but the legal board in your state or territory, and apply to get admitted as an admitted lawyer in Australia. So at every point they make you pay, which is not great. I don't love it. I mean, obviously there's money for everything, but it's an expensive degree and it's an expensive career, especially at the start. It really is. And once you get admitted, then you need to find a graduate role. Crickets, yeah. The demand versus the supply, the ratio is cooked. Absolutely cooked. We are not in a good place for that. We have such an oversupply of lawyers, and the demand is like literally one graduate lawyer per firm on average. And think about the amount of graduates that apply. It is horrific. It is about who you know in Australia as well, which is, it's good when It's good when you're in it and it's bad when you're not. I wanted to talk about the benefits though. And there are benefits to having a law degree. And actually they're quite substantial. So it is it depends answer for if you want to go through this route. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's expensive. I don't know if I want to be a lawyer anymore. I'm not sure yet. This is something that I have to figure out. And I've moved to London, so I can't technically be a lawyer here in the way that I want to or want to try. But the benefits to this degree is that you will be able to apply so many skills that you learn in everyday life. The amount of times I've been like, wait, that's not right. I have, some rights in XYZ. I should push back. And I've gotten what I want. And I know that's a very simple thing, but think about the amount of things where, especially as a young adult, where you're like, I don't know where I stand in terms of this company saying this to me, and do I need to pay this? Jobs, like salaries, everything like that, complaints. It's just helped me, and it's helped me feel confident to help my friends out as well with these things. And it's been life-changing to that extent. Like, I think the skills that you learn in a law degree is really great and so transferable to so many different other career paths. And that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, which is like kind of meshing my transferable like soft skills into different career paths and seeing what works and what doesn't work for me, because it is really good. Like, it is a sought after degree. No matter what people say to you, it is a sought after degree, and you do have a certain leg up, I guess. It makes you really able to negotiate. You're able to know your rights off the bat, or like figure out your rights in certain situations really easily. You know what to research, you know what to look for, you know when people are bullshitting you and when they're not, and things like that, which is like very helpful. It makes you feel very confident in the way that you address life. And it just has saved me a lot of money in terms of like admin and stuff, because I've been able to, I guess, advocate for myself in certain situations. I've been able to advocate for my friends and my family in certain situations where it might seem very cut and dry. You've done the wrong thing and you need to pay a certain amount of money or whatever it is. And the thing is like, it's never cut and dry. That is the number one rule in law. It's never cut and dry. And anything that happens can be argued, for better or for worse. I mean, if I was to do it again, I would probably do a law degree again. Honestly, could not do it right now. Do it when you're younger. You just have more zest for life and it won't cut you down completely. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope that was helpful to those that are thinking about law and what it might mean for them and whether they want to pursue that. At the end of the day, there are so many different avenues for a law degree. It's not just lawyers, which they always kind of push. Please don't think that's the only career path you can take. There's so many other ones. But in any case, you really need to consider whether having a law degree is worth all the time and effort and the tears that come with it. But anyway, good luck to all of you. And thanks for listening to Life Off Script. Much love. I will be back with another episode in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. Bye.